on the rising threat of al-Qaeda in Iraq. This hearing from Wednesday is 2 hours.
We'll hear for a minute from Eliana Ross-Layton, Chair of the Middle East Subcommittee, followed by Mr. Ted Deutsch, who is the ranking member of that subcommittee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And in addition to the biggest issue, which is that we don't have al-Qaeda on the run, there are two issues which I continue to be very concerned about. First is the safety of the residents of Camp Liberty. They still have very little protection. When last you testified, Mr. McGurk, 192 T-walls were up. Then the big progress, supposedly, is that 43 T-walls are now up in addition. This is out of 17,500 T-walls. T-walls save lives. Put them up.
Since 2009, there have been 7 attacks on Camp Liberty or Camp Ashraf. During that time, 19 times members of the State Department have testified. Most of those, or many of those, were about Camp Liberty, in addition to other things. And all those attacks, to my knowledge as of today, not one person has been captured or charged with any of those killings. Not one. Now, when you visited, and I commend you for going to visit the camp, did you see these, what look like graves, but they are really what these are used for? The people at Camp Liberty are in such fear of their lives, they no longer stay in these trailer houses here. They have dug themselves what looks like a grave to hide in when the attacks come from the rockets. And they dig these and they put sandbags around them, and then they're ready for the next attack. They jump in these things. Some of them sleep in these things at night, even in the rain, to try to be safe.
Finally, I agree with several of the prior speakers that we need to, with regard to Camp Liberty and the T-walls, and I yield back.
I am concerned that maybe the safety of people at Camp Liberty, the Iraqis are not making the effort that they really need to secure these people.
The Iraqi military invaded Camp Ashraf and murdered people. These are the people under Maliki's command did that. They recently went into the 50 that were so left at Camp Ashraf, tied their hands behind their back, and shot them in the back of the head. And it was Maliki's own military, we know, who did that. We know that the Camp Ashraf and these people were attacked numerous times by the Iraqi military. This isn't whether Maliki and his people are not protecting the MEK.
Did you want to share any details in terms of the attack on Camp Ashcroft, and in your judgment, who you believe was involved in that, since that was the question at hand?
Whether it be the protection of those that are at Camp Liberty, the Ashraf, the other things. This is not something that this congressman is going to let go. We got to continue this process. That we owe that in a large sense to what happened there.
So I have a question for you. The residents of Camp Liberty, and we promised them that, did we not, that we would protect them and that we would take care of them back during the conflict, and when they were repatriated, so to speak, to the camp?
There were agreements between our kind of military commanders at the time when we moved into Iraq at Camp Ashraf.
Right, and you're aware of how many of them have paid a terrific price with their lives to live there under the agreement that we made?
I am, sir, yes. Okay,
and you're aware that they're basically having to live in graves now? We're not getting T-walls, the protection installed that they used to have. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the paper-thin walls that they're living in and the attacks that are coming from outside. You're aware of that? How long does that have to go on? Should we not be pressing for to get them out of the country? And at best, while we're working diligently on that, should we not be getting them protection? How much longer do you estimate that going on?
As I said earlier, we need to do everything we can to get them out of the country.
Well, you were here 78 days ago. Has their situation improved?
Some more of them have been able to relocate to Albania, and we have to thank the Albanians for being very gracious for taking about 210 residents into Albania, and we wish there were more countries willing to do the same.
I'm told your comments earlier, I was late from another hearing, that you made comments that the T-walls are currently being installed?
That was the information that I received this morning.
Okay.
The T-walls would begin moving in again today or tomorrow.
Would you be interested to know that we've had cell phone communication from the residents inside the camp, and that's not the case?
All I can say, Congressman, my understanding was there was a decision made this morning to begin moving T-walls back into the camp. Whether or not that's actually started or not, I don't know. But I can assure you, based upon the information I've received, that we will follow up. And if, in fact, T-walls are not being moved into the camp, that'll be a very serious matter. And I will follow up with you as soon as I receive the information.
How soon?
I can follow up with you in the next 48 hours to make sure that T-walls are moving back into the camp.
I hope you make it an extreme priority to get them out.
We will do so. Thank you.
Thank you.